How's it going, YouTube? Andreas here. Today I'm going to talk about Splitbot Holdem, just a new game that is out on Pokerstars. Let's have a look at how the game is played and I'm going to talk about my thoughts afterwards. Got two tables here. The way it goes is that you actually buy in for 80 big blinds here at the beginning. And this is two boards poker, so once you go to the flop, as you can see here on the right, you see two boards and the pot is going to be awarded to either one player who wins on both boards, and then it's a split pot when both players have, one board with the best hand. Now, the way this goes is that, after the last video on Rake, is that Pokerstars is going to win the most money here, since whenever there's a split pot, the players involved, they don't win money, but Pokerstars is going to win some money because they are going to rake the split pot every single time. So this is going to be a format, if it's not played very poorly, then Pokerstars is going to win a bunch of money. You can see that high suits like this one can actually make quite some money, since, flush over flush on one board is going to always play it aggressively. And yeah, suited aces are going to be very powerful. Out of position defense get very tricky. I think offsuit hands go down a lot in value, since semi-bluffing or just making like a flush at least on one hand is going to be very powerful, especially when it's a nut flush or second nut flush. Now, when you obviously have clubs on both boards, it's super hard to hit one of your flush draws, right? So you actually want to just make a flush on one board, and then on the other board have something like ace high or a pair or something even better for that. So here we got the king 5 suited, which I think against a cutoff raise, it's not too big. I'm going to defend, and I will play generally very aggressive in position against the small blind, and the small blind out of position is going to be very tough. I think 3-bets have to be very big. And he just goes all in. And my ace king is still a very, very strong hand here on two boards, obviously. Jams 4-bet the ace jack, and we're gonna split it as usual in this game. Obviously pre-flop, if the money goes in, the equity, it's just like run it twice, right? So it's going to be the same thing when there is no post-flop action. So we flop quite decent here. Not only do we have the nut flush draw here, but we also do have an open-ended straight draw. It's actually very, very good, but obviously flushes could check shove and some boats. I'll check it back. And then on the river, I actually overbet. All in. I have a straight and I have ace high on the bottom. That's a very good hand. And I'm going to take down the whole pot. So not only suited aces are strong, obviously when you do make a set, you can just force out the other player when he wins on the other board, and nuttedness goes up quite in value. You need nutted hands in this game to win the pot. Also at the beginning, as I said, there might be just opponents making very big mistakes, so it might be even worth checking out these games, even though they're highly raked. There's more rake than just in Holdem, and you want to, benefit from that as long as players don't play the format that well. So here we got an ace against pocket jacks, and people are somehow just gambling. I somehow cannot see the last hand, which is kind of weird. And we're gonna get one more hand here and then wrap it up. By the way, you can find this new format here on the third column. It's called Split Pot Poker. You can select your buy-in. It goes up to $10 or $20, which at the moment I think, oh, it is being played. You got Hope Fluky battling out with Acid and a Morello. It's really interesting. Ask him a little bit about it. And yeah, that's it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up down here and subscribe to the channel. There will be more coming. My thoughts on it, you know, as I said during the play and explain, or the short play and explain here, is that it's a very overrated game long term, so it's not going to be a money-making machine or whatsoever. But at the beginning, maybe players are going to make big mistakes, defending too much out of position. It's very tough to basically defend on two boards. We didn't see it in the hands that exactly, but also on the river, if people really don't show much aggression, you can sometimes overbet with one side of the pot, knowing that you're good, like with me with a straight air. If you have some backup on the other board, sure, some people once in a while might mix in a trap out of position, but at first maybe they don't do that enough. So yeah, that's basically it about Split Pot Poker. I think it's also another attempt for Pokerstars to gain more rake. They're trying to introduce some more formats, but at the same time, you know, for recreationals, I can understand it's maybe a lot more fun to play those games. And once in a while, you know, playing a game that you're not having an edge in is also fine. I'm still gonna play Pot Limit as my main game. I'm not gonna switch over to Split Pot games like this, even though I like Split Pot games, but they're often overrated, and if you're playing for reasonable stakes, they can be quite okay. So, hope you enjoyed this video. See you for the next one.